All right, guys, welcome back to episode 11 of the Kwak Brothers podcast. And today we're going to be continuing the series in the conversation we had last week in episode 10 of hard money lenders. By the way, we did take a break for a whole week because it was Thanksgiving week, Black Fridays. We had a lot of money to spend, so we had to put the podcast on pause. So, Daniel, what did you think about Thanksgiving weekend?
Hey, guys, welcome to episode 11 of the Kwak Brothers.
Totally ignored me.
Thanksgiving. Right? I mean, it was what it was, man.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for this phone. There's a comment on the last video that says, stop playing with your phone, bro. Quick shout out to the feedback. Thank you for the feedback, by the way. Just for the side of reference, I do use this phone for notes because I got a lot of value. We got a lot of value to share with you guys.
Daniel gets shy, so he needs to go look at notes.
I'm not shy at all, man. I'm not shy at all. I'm not shy about doing these deals.
I get you.
But this phone has also put together a total of $12 to $15 million in not only real estate assets, but also capital raised. So this phone serves a good purpose. I love this phone. I don't know about you, man, but I love this thing, dude.
We're not getting paid by Samsung to say that, by the way.
This thing is amazing.
So to kind of help us move forward, we did have a great week of. We missed you guys. Certainly missed doing these podcasts because it's an opportunity for us to share our knowledge and have an open dialogue about certain topics. In which this episode is going to be about private money lender. Now, there may be individuals out there that say, well, hard money lending is essentially the same thing as private lending. Well, in our world, we see those two things as very different things because we've been able to distinguish as investors as two separate things. And I want to share why, and Daniel's going to share his why as far as why do we see those two as two things as different things. Hard money lender for us is more to kind of give you a review. Hard money lenders for us is more about the institutional side, right? The professionals that are doing it, right? These are individuals that earn their living, their business is in lending. For us, the private lenders are more like your mom and pop, your Uncle Joe or Aunt Sherry who has, $500,000 and they're looking to, invest in real estate. And this is where you come along with the knowledge and experience and the background you may have in putting the deals together so that you can be the quote-unquote conductor of that business or conductor of that deal. So Daniel, we did end up closing a 24-unit apartment deal today, and which is nice, kind of ties up the podcast this week because we actually used what?
My knowledge.
Well,
my brain.
But in the context of
we use private capital, and don't get me wrong, I like hard money. I think it's good, but I think there's a reason why some of these big guys are getting into hard money lending is because they know they make money off of it, right? So call it a win-win situation all you want, but the biggest difference for me in terms of hard money versus private money is one thing and one thing only. It's called the law, right? It's called legalism, right? There are a lot of legalistic aspects and different regulations that go around private and hard money. What's easier to find? Hard money, and there's a reason. There's a reason why it's easier to find hard money lenders than it is to find private hard money lenders or private money lenders. I personally like private money. When I structure my deals, our deals, right? When I structure our deals, right? I like to get private money, and I like to use equity partnerships, right? I love putting equity partnerships together. Matter of fact. And here's the thing, the number one thing you have to be really good at if you want to build private capital. A lot of people are looking for these phrases, and they're like, Daniel, you raised literally 8 digits in the past when it comes to raising capital. What is the thing, or what is the phrase? What are the tactics that I have to use? Here's the thing, raising private money, if you want to be really good at it, it's like being a farmer. It's like growing a farm, right? You have to plant the seed. You have to water it. You have to have sunlight on it. You have to sing to it, whisper sweet nothings into its ears, right? It's not going to grow overnight, right? A lot of people, when they start conversations with the 3-foot rule in terms of marketing, or they're broadcasting their relationships, whatever, they think that just one conversation is going to get investors to do that. And believe me, I of all people have been successful at it, right? Like, I've read countless of sales books. I've had conversations literally in the gym with people who had $500,000, And typically, even if they say yes at the time, they're like, yeah, I'm interested in investing money with you. Most of the time, it won't go anywhere because you don't have a solid relationship. So build a relationship, and trust me, that's what you want, right? That's what you want, because not only are investors predatory, but I have seen private lenders that are also predatory as well. It's real estate. It's business in general. Everybody can be predatory, no matter who you are, right? And everybody can be predatory. So the one thing that you guys got to write down, and if you guys aren't taking notes, I'd recommend you do. Or rewatch this, right? This is where this is going. It's on YouTube.
It's gonna be on YouTube, Facebook. It's gonna be broadcasted. It's getting broadcasted. So
it's being broadcasted. Everybody's hearing this.
Absolutely.
Everybody. Yes. So people all around the world.
Right.
All right. Everybody's all right. So Mr. Rocket Man, no, but seriously, build a relationship, right? Seriously, focus on building a relationship. It's a long-term type of play. Don't focus on what can I do to get it now. It just doesn't exist.
Let me interject and say, I think also that I can't not agree furthermore as far as what Daniel said. Another big piece, I think, to that. I mean, it's great that you have that. It's having those relationship, and you got to have the knowledge, right? Like Daniel, I think briefly threw it out there, but knowledge is what can arm you from defending yourself from these predatory I guess aggressions, right, from these private lenders and in any business nature, like Daniel has mentioned. So how do you defend yourself from these predatory lenders, or risky, or how do you know what to say the right things? Because there are things you can say that will land you in jail when it comes to any sort of raising money, right? It doesn't matter if it's private money or hard money. Any sort of things that are out there that relate to money and financial transaction, there are going to be laws and regulatory practices that you need to be aware of. Otherwise, you may be risking going into jail. And I don't know about you, Daniel, but I don't look good in orange. In fact, I don't have anything in my closet that remotely looks anything like orange, right? I'm talking about orange jumpsuits.
Is there like a cricket sound that we can make?
Orange jumpsuit is not what you want to wear.
I look good in everything, dude.
Right? Orange jumpsuit is certainly not something that you want to wear for the rest of your life.
You know where I look good at? The closing table. That's where I look
Yeah, that's where he wants to wear his orange jumpsuit.
All right. So, I want to touch on the knowledge. You got to have knowledge. And sure, you want to educate. But here's the more important thing. I don't know. How about actually executing the deal, right? That's pretty important, don't you think? A lot of these people, I describe a lot of these real estate investors who are like, well, Daniel, how do I raise money? Here's the reason. The number one reason why I raised money is because I know what I'm doing, right? I mean, I study this stuff. For me personally, I don't know how many hours Sam studies, but I study this stuff 8 to 12 hours a day.
Right.
And I'm not, right? Like, that's why you never see me putting out content. I don't do webinars. I don't do books. I don't do blogs, because guys, at the end of the day, I'm still a student. Right, I'm still learning. I'm on the same page as you guys are. I'm looking up other people on YouTube that talk about real estate. I think 90% of it don't know what they're doing, and all they want to do is just become famous and pretend like they know what they're doing. But in all realisty, in all seriousness, guys, have the knowledge to be able to do what you need to do to fulfill your investors' expectations, right? If you want to, in all reality, all you really need is 4 or 5 really good investors that can finance your deals for the rest of your life, for the rest of your career, right? I have a huge problem right now. I have too much money and not enough good deals. And we probably look at 200 deals a month.
Right.
And we pick only 1 or 2 out of those 200.
Yeah, we're extremely picky because we know, by the knowledge that we have, understand what we want, right? I think that's another good point there. Know what you want in a deal, right? Know what a perfect deal looks like for you. Right, because if you don't know what a perfect deal looks like for you, you don't know how to reverse engineer.
Well, know your business plan, right? Like, your investors need to know what they're getting. For me, a lot of people say cash flow is king. I respectfully disagree. I really do. And if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. But I can show you literally millions of examples as to why that is so false. That's a very surface level way of thinking about real estate, right? Because I believe in equity buildup. I believe that's number 1. I believe in equity buildup. Number 2, I believe in value creation of real estate. What are you going to do as a landlord and as a smart investor to take advantage of macro and microeconomical factors to increase not only your equity positioning in buildings, but also improve the net income of how your asset is performing? That I believe in. And lastly, I believe in cash flow. Lastly, I believe in cash flow.
Right.
So let me finish this thought. Right.
Ahead, yeah.
So that also dictates the type of investors that I want to target. I am not interested in investors who are looking for short-term cash. Right. I'm just not. I'm not looking for. If somebody says, hey, if I give you $500,000, can I get a 10% return by next year? I tell them, you know what? I'm so sorry. That's not the way I do business. I can refer you to somebody else who can fulfill that for you.
Right.
So you like some of you guys are looking for investors, but really you guys don't even know what you guys want in an investor. Like it's so keen and so critical, and I say that because I see so many of you out there in the cyberspace messing it up. And not only are you failing on these deals, but you're losing your investors' money.
Right.
Like for me, one of my biggest pet peeves in real estate is when somebody goes out there and they're trying to raise money, and at the end of the day, they really don't. They think they know how to execute, but they really don't know how to put a deal together, and they end up losing the investors' money, or they don't make the profit. They don't fulfill the expectation. Like that drives me crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this may sound far from the private lending conversation that we're having, but this has so much to do with the private money lending conversation that you guys don't even know. And the reason why Daniel covered those 3 fundamental points is because if you don't know those things, those private lenders will not want to work with you. Those private money will not want to work with you. So kind of put it in your perspective, right? If you had $10 million sitting in your bank account in cash, right? Would you want to work with individuals that know what they're doing and understand business fundamentals and philosophy?
Here's the better question, right? If you had $10 million in your bank account and you needed to invest in real estate, are you right now at the level of knowledge in which you would invest that money in yourself? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, I get where you're going with that.
That's the question.
I get where you're going with that. I guess it's my question is a different spin to it. Is really, would you want to work with someone like kind of but let's externalize it, right? So do you want to give that money away, to someone who doesn't know what they're doing and expecting a return? Or do you, I mean, it's like, do you want to invest with Donald Trump or do you want to invest with some Joe Schmo, right? And I'm sorry if your name is Joe Schmo and I don't know why you have that name. But as much as you hate Donald Trump or you may like him, Donald Trump is maybe competent. He's competent. He showed competency in real estate investing at least, right? So, it's a matter of knowledge and business philosophy, and what Daniel and I, what we possess is not only just good business philosophy, but it's a business philosophy that's built on long term, and it's predicated really more so on what will protect us.
I want to emphasize this because I think they get. I think they get what you're trying to say. I think no disrespect, but you kind of repeated it.
Yeah.
But here's what you need to understand, right? What the reason why we have the philosophy that we have in terms of apartment complexes and value creation real estate is because that right there is what's going to protect your downside the most in what the market has been doing the last 15 to 20 years, right? The market has sped up astronomically the last 15, 20 years compared to the last 50 years of American history, arguably ever since the Industrial Revolution, where a lot of monetization began happening with trades, right? So you're seeing a faster economy, where you're seeing more factors being put into play. You're juggling with 5, 6 different balls where one can make the argument that 50, 60 years ago, there was only 3 or 4 balls in play. Right? There are so many economical factors and things that we have to watch out for, and a part of that has to do with the fact that information is is so easily accessible today. But the reason why we have the strategy that we have is because, based on our research and what I do primarily, I believe that is what's going to protect the downside the most, right? And I believe in real estate, as long as you protect your downside, your upside will always take care of itself. So, having said that, right? How do you become a more competent investor, right? How do you increase your knowledge, right? I really believe that there are 3 different things you need to become a really good real estate investor, right? I think you need knowledge and education. I think you need resources and tools. And I also think you need guidance and mentorship, right? So we have a candidacy process for folks who do want to be mentored by what we do and how we do it. But as you can see, we don't own a TV.
No,
right. I'm not
TV there.
saying this to brag, right? But I'm just saying this because we practice what we preach, right? We live, right? Like I can genuinely look in the camera and tell you I am not lying about anything. I'm not inflating any numbers. When I tell you I'm 23 years old and I'm a millionaire, I mean that. I have the statements to back it up. If you want to call my attorney, you can do that too, right? I can literally show you how I put my deals together, right? For the reference. But that's the only reason why I bring stuff like that up. We don't have a TV, right? These are books. Right. This phone also, the amount of economical research you can do, right? And that's what I recommend. Do that for fun, right? Go to these awesome websites. Like I know in Chicago, one of my favorite websites to look up business is Cranes Real Estate. I love it. I always get the latest news on what's going on in real estate. I'm always catching up on articles. Start there, right? Start there. Learn how monetary policy works. Learn how fiscal policy works, right? Learn the basics of real estate. And if you really want to get deeper into real estate and really concentrate and learn on how we put our deals together, talk to Sammy about our mentorship program, right? That's as far as I'm going to push it, right? But books are important. I mean, the amount of resources that you have right now with this thing is astronomical.
Yeah, and we don't want to seem like we're trying to push a sales pitch on our podcast. That's certainly not what we're trying to do. The goal of this podcast is solely based on we want to provide value, right? We want to take whatever we're thinking in here and transfer it out there in the world of where you guys may be, right? Because there's a lot of crap out there in the internet world. You Google real estate investing,
it's not
like
true.
80% of stuff is crap out there. So for us to be on the whole reason why we're on podcasts again, it's to create value, but at the same time, we want to be heard simply because there's so much crap out there in the internet world, bad information that is being scattered around. A lot of people are getting hurt. So what we want to do is we want to take the time. By the way, we're not getting paid to do these podcasts. You're not. We're the studios and equipment that we invested in. These are not. We're not getting paid to do this.
Right.
This is solely because we want to help you avoid the mistakes that my brother and I went through, avoid the mistakes that some of our mentors went through. And you are going to make mistakes. That's a given. That's inevitable, right? But it's the type of mistakes that you're going to want to make, right? Good problems. You want to have good problems. You don't want to make childish mistakes. You don't want to make childish problems. You want to have problems where it's dedicated towards growth, right? We don't want to fall short and where we're having the same problem over and over and over again, where it's going to tire you out and you may lose interest in doing real estate investing, which is not what we want to do, right? So private money. Let's sum it up.
Here's the thing. Also, here's another good tip. All right, if you want to get better, become a better real estate investor in general, learn how to be a better private raiser, because
private money raiser, that is.
Private money raiser, right? Yeah. Same spiel. You know what I meant. I would say find attorneys and CPAs that are killing it in your market, right? They're absolutely killing it, right? Buy them lunch, network with them, get coffee with them, do whatever you have to do to get connected with them, because the most important thing that you can do is surround yourself with individuals that will help you succeed, right? We have that. Sam is notorious for being my right-hand man in terms of, he's got the property management side. He knows all the details, right? And it's great. We know our roles. We know our business, right? We have a phenomenal mentor who's also our property manager. We have phenomenal attorneys. We have a phenomenal CPA. We have people all around us that cover literally every single different role of what we do in real estate. There are so many things that are not seen beyond this camera, right? Beyond this camera.
I agree.
There's a lot of people that you guys do not see that is under our success.
Right.
There are a lot of things that you guys don't even know in terms of what we do. So surround yourself with the best type of people. In order to make yourself attractive to those type of people, show them that you're learning this stuff. Right.
Yeah. So we got like 20 seconds. Our time clock's running out here. So guys, actually, if you guys join our private Facebook mastermind group, we actually have a full-blown webinar on how you can raise private money. This was really more for the mindset, so we got like 5 seconds. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.